volgende naweek. Hoop julle om enige veranderings te doen aan die motors hierdie naweek vir volgende naweek?
Man, jy weet, is van baan tot baan. Ons voel, ons wil graag hier wees. Dis Kyalami, ons het die eerste keer hier uit gewees, die vorige wedren. So, as ons kon verbeter op die vorige wedren, dan voel ek ten minste, ons het verbeter. En ek dink, wel Opel nou van maandag af daar onder sal toets in die Kaap. Ek hoop, miskien wat ons hier leer, kan ons daar toepas.
Gaan julle vroeër af gaan Kaap toe enigstens nou, nie?
Ons sal donderdag daar wees, ja, definitief.
Die wedren is ons so 2 weke terugkyk op Swartkops, tussen jouself en die Opel. Dit was baie harde werk gewees daai van al twee die renjaars, jouself en Michael Briggs. Dink jy daar steek nog iets aan onder die kap van die BM? Kan daar nog 'n bietjie perde uitkom toe nie?
Ek twyfel, jy weet, ons weet daarom, jy weet hoe dit gaan, kom daarom 'n lang pad met BMW en ou probeer maar laat dit so stel, ons probeer altyd die beste uit om uit kry. So elke dag probeer iets anders te hoop maar net dit is beter. Maar jy weet soos die lug aangaan, jy weet soos warm en koue lug, so jy moet maar probeer die ou wat die beste kombinasie kry vir die dag. Ek dink hy is daarbo.
Wie dink jy is jou grootste probleem vandag hier op die baan, Robbie Smith of Pieter Lans?
Ek dink ek gaan baie oppositie van Robbie, Pieter Lans en ons moet nie Jeff vergeet nie. Hy is 'n charger.
Jy definitief ons ken vir Jeff Sideways, Jeff Goddard en Tony Lekkerry. Ons kyk wat is die resultate op die einde van hierdie wedren.
Baie dankie.
Well, as Graham said, the competition from these BMWs amongst the Opels has been fierce this year so far. You might have seen it 2 weeks ago coming from Swartkops. And we've got a similar camera in that car. Henk Lombard's put it into the car. You're going to have shots from the back of Tony Viana's car, hopefully if everything hangs together. But spectacular shots you'll see of this field. Let's hear from Robbie.
Robbie, what you got up your sleeve for this event?
Well, Graham, we've got to keep it on the island and obviously try and get ahead of Tony there.
Let's hope you don't run out of road and ideas at the same time. Keep it together.
Will do. Thank you.
Right down on the grid there, and they're getting warmed up. Just behind them, Farouk Danga, who's the businessman of the year in Clarkstorp in 1990. He drives the Speedy Den car sales. What's he in today? He's in his Opel, number 22. You'll be able to see that a little bit later. The Superboss Gino Remondini, who rolled his car at Swartkops, is there in the third row of the grid. Interesting that Martinez Breers, he leads Class B, and I see Mike White is back in racing in the Conquest.
Yeah, having a chat to Mike, in fact having a chat to Stan Weston of Stannic, and he was telling me yesterday that he gave Mike a call on Thursday and said to him, why haven't you entered the race? And he said, well, why? And Stan said to him, well, you know that you are co-leader in your class and there's 12,500 rand up for grabs if you can actually do something. And he really got going, got permission from Toyota to put the car back together. You'll obviously see there's no livery or anything on the car, it's just plain white is that Golf of Mike White. He had already taken everything out of it, and he had taken everything out of the Toyota, and he had to put the roll bars and everything in yesterday. He worked right the way through the day. In fact, his entry wasn't even in, and they managed to get his entry in, and Mike is racing today, and he's actually looking very forward to it indeed, and he will be racing in the Yellow Pages Challenge in his own private car, or any car that he can lend to try and win this championship. That's exactly what he's going for. So Mike, very happy to be out there.
Wel, dis die gesig wat ons gaan sien agteruit die motor van Tony Viana, en daai silwer motor net langsom of net agter hom. Dis die motor van Robbie Smith. Pieter Lans is daar, die swart en groen BMW, en daar agter in die regterkantse hoek van die skerm sien jy die Opel Superboss van Farouk Dangor. Deur die tweede van die S'e, en jy kan sien dis 'n bietjie stamprig daardeur. Jy kan die engine se klank hoor, daai groot 6-silinder 2,7 liter engine van die BMW 325 ES waarmee Tony Viana jaag in die Winfield kleure. Pragtige nuwe kamera posisie wat Scotty Seward vir ons die regisseur uitgewerk het vir vandag. Maar by Westbank Draai, en dit is gewoonlik waar op die eerste ronde, as dit nie by geelbladsye gebeur het nie, is dit by Westbank Draai waar die aksie plaasvind. Af teen die mynskag die IGI Pouvak, IGI mynskag dan. En in 'n produksiemotor soos hierdie in klas A haal hulle in die omgewing van 200 km/h. Ja, daarom nie, dis 180 km/h voordat hulle op die remme moet klim vir daardie draai, daar links deur Continental draai. Robbie Smith wat naby kom, die motors is nie in die wedren op die oomblik nie, hulle is besig met hulle opwarmingsronde soos wat in 'n Grand Prix ook gebeur. Een ronde wat hulle kry om op te warm nadat hulle hulle posisies ingeneem het, dan kom hulle weer terug op die wegspringrooster, neem hulle wegspringposisies in, en daarna wag hulle vir die ligte om van rooi na groen oor te slaan, en dan is dit aksie vir 10 rondes wat voorbly. 27 motors op die wegspringrooster van klas A na klas E. Die klasse natuurlik ingedeel volgens die engine groottes, die engine kapasiteit van hierdie motors. Daar is die eerste 6 manne, almal van hulle met die uitsondering van Farouk Dangor in BMW 325 IS modelle. Farouk Dangor natuurlik in die 2 liter 16 pep Opel Kadett Superboss weergawe. 1 minuut 45,01 vir Farouk Dangor. Soos ons gesê het, 27 motors op die wegspringrooster. Hulle is op die laaste draai van die opwarmingsronde en binne enkele oomblikke van nou af gaan ons aksie sien uit die boonste rakke.
Interesting thing there, Tony Viana, under the lap record in warm-up in practice this morning for the grid. Jeff Mortimer, the manager of the Ford team, is sitting here now, waiting for the modifieds, of course, the Westbank modifieds to come up a little later, and he's saying those are quick times for a Stannic Group N car. Basically standard cars, you're allowed to skim your tires, you've got to keep your air filters in, have a straight-through exhaust, and the rest is tuning and preparation. Left-hand side of your screen, Tony Viana with our camera, on-board camera. Right-hand side, the silver car, the JSN BMW. And the start is Peter Lance, another demon start there as he gets away from the line. We've got Tony Viana, car length behind it, coming through the middle too. We've got Gino Romandini's come through there too. Farouk Danger's on the outside, that colourful Opel Superboss. Looking back there, Steve Corner leading Class D, and Mike O'Sullivan in the Sapphic Delta Force car is leading Class E. Nice big field. It's Lance. Goddard trying to push through in the inside. Number 9 in second position is Tony Viana, looking back from his motor car. This is from second, looking back to third, which is Jeffrey Goddard. He's the man who's the chief tester at BMW. Lovely shot. Listen to that 6-cylinder motor at work. As he accelerates up the Winfield Hill, getting away from the others ahead of him. As he gets in the gear ahead of him, he's got Peter Lance. A very, very quick start is Lance. 7 is Lance. 9 is Tony Viana, hard onto the brakes here. These are the 325 ISs. It's the 2.7 litre BMWs as they exit Westbank Corner and come down the IGI mine shaft, come down towards us. Reading backwards, it's Lance and it's Viana, Goddard. Then it looks like it's Remondini is in 4th position, or is it Robbie Smith? It's Remondini, Robert Smith is 5th, and then it's Farouk Danger right in there. What a fine driver he is. Then it's Clive Rice, great performance there, ahead of Tony Valeria. Clive Rice in the Yellow Pages BMW. It's Lance, and he's going to be a hard man to beat. He really prepares these BMWs well. We're back with Tony Viana, looking backwards as Jeff Goddard holds on to his 3rd spot.
Hard op die remme daar vir total draai, teen ongeveer 180 km per uur. So teen 160 deur total draai, weer eens hard op die remme, nog 'n rad af, 3de rad deur die eerste van die 2 Nashua draaie, terug na 2de rad vir hulle. Jy kan hoor hoe hoog daar die toere opgejaag word. En dis Jeff Goddard wat daar aan die binnekant van die baan al die pad gebruik wat hy kan gebruik. Is die einde van die eerste ronde, hier is hulle. Dis Peter Lance, dan is dit Tony Viana, dan is dit Jeff Goddard, dan is dit Gino Remondini, dan is dit Robbie Smith, en iemand gaan baie wyd as jy van die Toyotas daar aan die buitekant van die draai, maar hy is weer terug. Dit lyk nou Mark Edwards se motor. Dis Keith Agliotti. En ek moet daai naam uitmaak, dankie Louis. Weer eens deur geel bladsye draai. En die ding is besig om al warmer en warmer te word. Hierdie motor is natuurlik op standaardbande. Daar is Farouk Dangor, hy bedruk baie hard nommer 22 en die enigste van die Opel Kadetts wat in die voorste bondel is. En ek kan hom daar aan die agterkant van daardie bondeltjie sien, die geel motor wat daar deur die draai kom, en die heel agterkant is die geel bladsy motor van Clive Rice, Springbok cricketkaptein wat reeds die afgelope jaar of 2 sy stempel in motorsport begin afdruk het in Suid-Afrika en gewys het dat hy daartoe in staat is om by van die voorstes te bly. Ook 'n paar keer in Westbank gekwalifiseerde sedanmotors met sy Mazda RX-7 gejaag en gewys dat hy by die voorste manne kan bly. Clive Rice wat van sy motorsport baie hou. Daar sal dit deur IGI draai in die rigting van Continental, en Dangor is verby. Farouk Dangor is verby Tony Valerio, Robbie Smith, Gino Remondini. 15 is Gino Remondini, by wie hy verbygekom het. Farouk Dangor, 'n baie ervare renjaer daar van Welkomse Wêreld. Met sy eie sake besig en sy eie sakeonderneming natuurlik. Kom ons gee vir u die volgorde as dinge so 'n bietjie de mekaar kom. Dis Peter Lance wat op die onderkant van die voortou. Daar is hy en Tony Viana wat sake uitspeel op die eerste posisie. Viana probeer aan die binnekant van Westbank van Nashua draai. Maar Viana maak die deur vir hom toe, maar Lance maak die deur vir hom toe. Dis Lance Viana, dan is dit Goddard, Remondini en Smith. Farouk Dangor, Clive Rice, Tony Valerio. Eerste in klas B is dit Martinez Breers op die oomblik. 8 rondes wat oorbly, die voorloper in klas B is Martinez Breers, en dan het hy vir Mike White, die voorloper in klas C, baie kort op sy hake. Mike White in sy Toyota Conquest. In klas D sal ons nou vir u sê sodra hy by ons verbykom. Ons vermoed dat dit Steve Kona sal wees. Dit lyk vir my so, ja, inderdaad, Steve Kona wat voorloop in die Conrads motors in klas D. En in klas E is dit Mike O'Sullivan. Mike O'Sullivan in die Sapphic Opel Kadett Cup. En hy het vir Mark Edwards kort op sy hakke, lyk dit vir my. Mark Edwards kort op sy hakke in klas E. Terug na die voorlopers. Nog steeds 'n gewellige stryd om die eerste posisie tussen Peter Lance en Tony Viana.
Well, the race is still on, and I could bet, and there it looks like Viana's going on the inside of Westbank. That's not a very wise place to do it, but he's going to get through. He gets through, and now they're going to come down the mine shaft together and just trying to force him slightly wide. Let's see who goes into Continental first. This is really going to be some spectacular stuff. Just look at that procession of cars as they come down. Viana's got the inside line. There you are. Great camera shots from the in-car camera as you see Peter Lance not knowing quite what to do, going slightly sideways because he has been overtaken by the man from Velcom, Tony Viana, who has been walking around Kyalami very, very happy indeed. He really has been happy. He's been full of the joys of spring, and that's what it's all about as far as this spring meeting is concerned. He's now back in the lead. He had pole position, but he's not really getting away all that much. And you can see how it's going sideways. That BMW of Peter Lance is going sideways all the time. He's going to try on the inside of Nashua. Doesn't look like it, but he's right up against Tony Viana's bumper. You might even see a little bit of bumping and barging going on there. Totally, of course, in the spirit of motor racing. And let's just see a slightly wider line for Peter Lance. Is going to try and come on the inside of Budget. No, he won't. The door's closed on him by Tony Viana, whose car we are in at the moment. He's going around about a second and a half off his times this morning. Into yellow pages. Lance is trying everything he knows as they go up towards the Top Sport S's. That's a look down from the West Bank corner. So you watch them coming around at BMW of Tony Viana as they come out and up the Winfield Hill. Accelerate right up to the top of West Bank. And they'll come through. This is where Tony Viana took him last time. Let's see if Peter Lance is going to try and come back at him. Just bounces off the curb. But he's behind him. You can hear the roar of that engine as he goes down the mine shaft. And it seems as though Lance gets a bit closer coming in and out of corners. Perhaps braking slightly later than Tony Viana. Viana seems to have the power down and the foot right on the accelerator as he goes into the straights part of the circuit. But Lance is not letting Viana get away. He's not letting him get away. You can see that car sliding around the circuit. And he really is trying very, very hard, is Peter Lance, to try and get back at Tony Viana. 300ths of a second, the difference between their two lap times at the moment, as he just slides it out of total curve. Look at that, onto the curbing, as all the BMWs, 4 of them in a row, come round. Viana, Lance, Goddard, Smith, and then Farouk Dangor in the Opel. In the Superboss, round Nashua they come, and now Lance is as close as he's ever been. That was a bit of a bump, I would think, as he came back and round him. Look at this, in the slipstream, out the slipstream he goes, with 6 laps remaining. Let's see if he can do it. Is he going to get into Budget first? No, he just didn't have the pull out of the slipstream of Tony Viana, but you can believe how close these cars get. We've said it to you many times before during our commentary, but now you can see it for yourself how close they actually get. It's almost 2 cars in one.
Ek dink Louis wat baie duidelik was daar is die ervaring van Tony Viana. Hy het nie probeer om die klassieke renlyn daar deur Budget te neem. Hy het in die middel van die baan gebly en hy het absoluut nie vir Peter Lance toegelaat om daarby verby te kom deur Budget draai nie.
And I think that's called making your car very wide. He's a hard man to pass, a hard man to race against, is Tony Viana. He doesn't win championships for nothing. As Lance closes up on the brakes, they come up in the West Bank shop. He's bringing Goddard with him, and he's also brought Robbie Smith. Robbie Smith's getting the picture, the man lying fourth. They're closing on Viana. Farouk Danger's just behind them in the Superboss. He comes from Clarksdorp. So those ones are getting away from the others. Then it's Gina Remondini, Clive Rice is in the yellow pages, being Tony Valerio, and then leading Class B with Mike White right in his tail is Martinez Brias. Mike White in Class C. They're slipping and sliding their way through Conti, as you see. Excuse me. He goes wide, he gets into a full broadside there. There's that lovely shot of Farouk Danger's Superboss exiting Continental Corner and heading down the Brilliant Sound Straight. And Lance is right on his tail and he's looking for a place to pass. He's having a look-see. He's found out that Viana can close on him as they come down through total curve. Here he comes onto the ripple concrete on the outside. He'll get very tied up in the braking. He was right under his bumper the last time around. Nashua goes down another cog. You can almost hear those gears selecting in the box there, but Viana's out very quickly this time. That's not the classical line he used. That's the line that keeps the second man in second position. And Robbie Smith has got Farouk Danger challenging him. So this race has come alive here with half the race to go. We've got Martinez Breers leading Class B. Then we've got Mike White leading Class C. Steve Corner is leading Class D. And then we've got in Class E Mike O'Sullivan and Mark Edwards in the two 1400cc Opels. This is how close it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and any one of those drivers can win this race. And Lance means to win it. He's always started so well, and then he seems to get passed by Viana, but he needs to get back and challenge him as they come up the Winfield Hill. There's a very, very steep hill indeed as they come up to the West Bank shelf. They start braking as they hit the shelf. They're there onto the anchors now. Going to the inside Lance. Those tyres are tortured as they go around West Bank corner and then down the mine shaft. This is the 6th time they're going down the mine shaft now. And Lance is losing a bit of ground as they come down. They look at that car. It's being driven as hard as it can be. They go to the brakes. Touch the brakes here in Conti. Then they start to accelerate. Normally going to the outside. He's trying to take a tighter line there. And he goes out right to the outside. You don't want to go to the dirt there. You go so quickly through that corner, you can get yourself into heaps of trouble. Coming through brilliant signs. There's Viana. It's Peter Lance in 2nd position. 3rd position, there's Jeff Goddard. Closing up on him is Robbie Smith. Here's Robbie Smith in there. There's Farouk Danga. Gino Remondini is just behind them. And it's Farouk Danga is on Robbie Smith's tail. It's Viana coming up to finish lap 6. This race seems to go so quickly when you're having fun this way, but he's going to be a hard man to beat. We expect a new lap record. At the moment he's done 1 minute 45. That's his best time so far. That's just a little way off the lap record, which he's got to beat is 1:44.5. But in practice he was able to do it. He's still trying hard, as you can see with Tony Viana using all the road, the ripple concrete as well. It's so easy to make a mistake here, and you go off the Kyalami circuit at high speed. You can see all the black lines on the roads where drivers have got into trouble. It looks easy when you're doing it like this, but when things go wrong, you're in heaps of trouble. And Goddard has got Robbie Smith from the front row challenging him. He got a very bad start, did Robbie Smith, and they've been out here practicing all the time. This is the yellow page of Stannic Group N race. They'll be down in the National Championship at Killarney in Cape Town next week. Robbie Smith challenging number 10 is Goddard. They come up in some of the slower cars. That's Anwar Hafaji in the little super quick Conquest.
Dinge gaan nou begin interessant raak, Roger. Die stadiger motors word nou ingehaal. En ons het net nou in die 250cc Grand Prix motorfietsklasse gesien dat dit sake deur mekaar kan krap vir die voorlopers. Volgorde bly steeds dieselfde. Die kuns natuurlik van hierdie motors, om hierdie motors baie vinnig om die baan te kry is om dit so gladweg as moontlik te doen. Jy moet sorg dat jou motor se bande nie te hard werk nie, want dit is natuurlik standaard produksiebande wat hier ook gebruik word. Party renjaars gebruik Goodyears, ander gebruik Continentals. Dis hoofsaaklik maar die twee fabrikate wat gebruik word deur al die renjaars van Stannic Group N. En hier is die stadiger motors nou besig. Dis Winnenstein se klas E Opel Kadett, die Faunus model wat nou daar deur hulle verbygegaan word. En Jeff Goddard is besig om te probeer om by Peter Lance verby te kom. Jeff Goddard is besig om al hoe meer en meer druk uit te oefen op Peter Lance. Tony Viana wat besig is om 'n gaping op te maak. Ek dink Peter Lance het moontlik net 'n radwisseling daar gemis of iets, of dalk net 'n klein foutjie begaan, want daardie gaping is iewers skielik baie groter tussen Peter Lance en Tony Viana. En Goddard probeer aan die binnekant van Lance. Hy het ook vir Robbie Smith natuurlik kort op sy hakke. En Farouk Dangor sit daar en wag vir dinge om verkeerd te gaan vir die manne hier voor hom. Die motors sal u sien dryf uit na die buitekant toe van elke draai. Mens gebruik natuurlik soveel as moontlik van die baan as wat jy kan, juis as gevolg van die rede wat ek net nou genoem het, dat jy dit so gladweg as moontlik moet doen. Jy moet nie te skerp draai nie, omdat jy op daardie manier te veel spoed afhaal van jou motor. Jy moet hom so ver as moontlik reguit deur 'n draai kry. En op daardie manier gaan jy baie vinnig deur die draai. Na 7 rondes, hulle het reeds 7,5 afgelê, is dit die volgorde. Min verandering nadat Tony Viana by Peter Lance verbygekom het. Peter Lance het so die eerste ronde of wat daardie voortou van hom behou het. En mens kan nie help om te wonder wat deur die gedagtes van Tony Viana gaan. Veral in die begin van die wedren en in die middelste gedeelte van die wedren, toe hy vir Peter Lance baie kort op sy hakke gesien het en heel waarskynlik deur 'n paar draai voel het letterlik dat Peter Lance kort op sy hakke is. Hier is 'n verdere stryd op die oomblik wat dalk nou dinge kan begin deur mekaar krap vir hulle. Is verdere stryd daar in klas E tussen van die agterste manne. Ons Ons praat van manne soos Louis Gous, onder Haffergy, Hans Albert is daar, Lindsay Stein hulle ook. Allemaal van hulle daar in die klas E Opel Kadett. Wow, dis Jeff Goddard. Jeff Goddard wat dwars gedruk word daar. Ons het nie mooi gesien presies wat daar gebeur het nie, maar dit het geklink lyk of dinge so 'n bietjie die mekaar geloop daar met die agterste motortjies. Ons wil nie skuld lê op enige iemand nie, maar dit lyk vir my hy moes net bietjie vinniger en bietjie vroeër rem as wat hy beplan het. Dis Hans Albert se Opel Kadett. Daar die rooi modelletjie in klas E wat nou daar deur die voorste manne verbygaan.
Well, I think he was trying to get through on the inside to challenge Lance, and it all went wrong for Jeff Goddard. And Lance, and some more people, that's Robbie Smith going sideways. This slippery circuit today. And we've got Farouk Danga now challenging Robbie Smith. So things are happening. As Hendrik was saying, this race is warming up. As the tyres go off, they start to lose their grip. These drivers are trying harder and harder. There's Mark Edwards, very fine driver in that little red Opel coming up the hill. And there comes Robbie Smith. He's gone back a place. We've got these 2 laps to go. Just 2 laps to go.
And Farouk Dangor has gone up into third place in that Superboss. And that's a great performance by him. We're looking out the back of Tony Viana. Watch behind Peter Lance, the green and black car. Watch what happens. There goes Jeff Goddard just tapping the side of that Kadett, and round he goes in a very dangerous situation, a very dangerous position on the circuit as they come out of Nashua and try and go through the main straight. And that really has put Jeff Goddard out for this particular race, but it's certainly going to give us a charge in the second one, because at the moment he's in 5th position and he certainly can chase through the field. Farouk Dangor is in 3rd, Robbie Smith is 4th, and Viana and Lance still lead. Viana 1st and Peter Lance 2nd as they come round to complete lap number 9. There is car number 9, Tony Viana. There is Peter Lance following him, but he seems to have opened a gap as Tony Viana on Peter Lance. He hasn't really allowed him to get that far away, and on a few occasions, in fact, he's even been closer, particularly down this main straight when at one stage he was right in his slipstream and we saw him actually pull out of the slipstream, but it was far too clever, the driving of Tony Viana, as he widened the circuit, widened the car rather, in the middle of that circuit, and never allowed his opponent to get past him. Viana leads, Lance 2nd, Farouk Dangor is 3rd, and he's just over half a second, or just under a second rather, slower per lap than the time being set up at the moment by Tony Viana. We're in his car again, looking back towards Peter Lance, coming up the Winfield Hill. There's the blue flags waving from the marshals to signal that there is somebody who wants to overtake coming up behind you. Up to West Bank, throws the car round the left-hander at West Bank, and then down the mine shaft into another left-hander, the bottom of the mine shaft, into Continental Tire corners, and then he goes round and throws it once again right-handedly into the exit rather of Conti.
Net voor hulle op die baan op die oomblik is die stryd aan klas E tussen Mike O'Sullivan en Mark Edwards. Dis die 2 manne wat sake uitspook daar. Dis Mark Edwards daar in die rooi motortjie en Mike O'Sullivan in die voorsteen, dis die Safik Opel Kadett, die groen en wit motortjie. En hulle is by hulle verby. Wys u net wat die verskil in snelheid is tussen die klas A motors en die klas E motortjies. Klas E motortjies het engines van 1400 cc engine kapasiteit. Dis die laaste ronde. Dis die tweede laaste ronde. Dis die laaste ronde en ons kom vir die grote vlag. Tony Viana wat hier die oorwinning gaan behaal. Tony Viana, baie goeie wedren deur hom met Peter Lance in die tweede posisie. En die derde plek dan Farouk Dangor, miskien ietwat van 'n gelukkige derde posisie vir hom, maar mense wil nie afbreek maak aan sy vertoning nie. As dit waarskynlik nie was vir die voorval van Jeff Goddard nie, kan 'n mens natuurlik sê dat hy dit dalk nie in die derde plek in sou gemaak het nie. Kyk, ons weer terug na die verdere stryd tussen dit lyk vir my of Mark Edwards verder teruggesak het, of ek sien nie vir Mike O'Sullivan nie. Die sien helemaal duidelijk precies wat daar gebeurt het nie, maar nummer 122 is Hans Alberts, of liever Mark Edwards. Is die kerel wat in die tweede positie was in klas E.
Well, I must say a very good race there for Tony Viana. He's back in the winning straight. That's 2 races that he's had in a row, and the BMW will be seen in action down at Kyalami in Cape Town next Saturday in the National Championship. And it's Tony Viana in car number 9, 1 ahead of Peter Lance in the Momentum, that black Momentum car there. And a very good drive there. The speedy Den car sales of Farouk Danga, as we say, the businessman of the year, 1990 in Clarksdorp. He was in third position. Robbie Smith, eventful race for him from the front row of the grid. He slotted back there to fourth. Jeff Goddard had lots of drama on the way, had a spin as well. And Gino Romandini, recovering from rolling his motorcar Swartkop.